know, I've been on this for ages and my hips are seizing up. Doesn't help, I've got a bad back as well because I slipped off a pair of step ladders, let's say. Step ladders twisted up on uneven ground and I ended up jumping off and sending spasms up my back. Anyway, enough about me. Thought I'd fasten up my pockets for a start, that would be a good idea. Thought I'd do a little review on the Thundercat. Anyone who's thinking of going to get one. It's probably interesting just to give you a base on me and motorbikes, so at least you can understand where I'm coming from. And that is quite simply, I waited until I was 17 so I could have, got a dickhead behind me in a Kia. I waited till I was 17 so I could have a 125. Obviously I'm not young these days, I'm 51 and a bit. And got me 125, and then literally 9 weeks later I'm lying in a hospital bed. Just my road awareness obviously wasn't brilliant as a kid on an RD125RC, and the 7.5 ton truck turning across the front on me didn't help either. And since those days I've rode trials on an old TY 250 and then a gas 280. Used to love riding, what on earth is going on here? Used to love riding my friend's RD 350 RC. Obviously, for any people watching this who know the law, obviously I didn't have a bloody licence at the time, so it was slightly illegal, but you live and learn, you grow up, do things right. So I've always been around bikes, I've always done things. I think the first bike I ever went on was a chap who used to live along the road from where my mum used to live, called Steve Trigg. And he went for a walk around Thailand, was it China or something? Sadly he had to come back because his dad wasn't very well. And he'd mothballed and greased up an old BSA 250 TriStar, I think. So as like a 12-year-old, that's probably what I would have been, I reckon, 12, 13-year-old, if that, I would have helped him take that out the mothball stage, clean out the grease. Usually I go past all this, by the way, but because I'm gassing, I'm fine. Put it all together, got it all running. So the first bike I went on as a 12, 13-year-old was an old BSA 250, which, good grief, if I kept everything I've been on, you know, they'd be worth some money now. But anyway, decided to do my test last year, so that's 2021. And I just wanted something that was reasonably priced, that I could go on the motorway with if I wanted to. So I got this. I've got a Yamaha Thundercat 600cc, 100 brake horsepower. It's about 10,000 revs, somewhere around there. Someone will correct me, I'm sure. Gets its second wind about 7,000 revs. So if you're not ready for that, that'll catch you unawares. Now the bike was pretty well looked after by whoever had it before, so I've changed the brake hoses. Oh, look at all that traffic down there. I've changed the brake hoses and changed the seat to what's called a grizzly seat, so it's a comfier seat. Changed the rear shock to a YSS unit because a lot of them do the R6 units. What else have I done? Changed the headlamp bulb because they're notorious for being bad. And it's got riser bars on, Moto CNC riser bars, so it brings it up an inch or so. as any honest lady will tell you, that extra inch makes all the difference. And I do suffer with the lower back problems, so I've rode this straight after I passed my test. Well, not straight after, but within a couple of weeks after passing my test. I rode this up to Salby, I think it was, that way, for a remembrance ride for the fallen. And that was about 2 hours 20 minutes, and because I don't do stops very well, I don't plan them in at all, I just left home and did the 2.5 hour ride. And I got there and I was fine. I know that's what's happening with the traffic. There's something happened under the bridge and everyone's stopping and watching. I've been Squires twice on it, which is again Leeds way. Regularly go to Matlock, Bath, which is about an hour away, just for the, you know, tool out. And it's good. It's absolutely fine in traffic, stop starting. Obviously, like most of the older bikes, they warm up pretty quick. No interest in stopping for the bike, have you, mate? Not at all. Absolutely oblivious to anything else on the road. You know, stop for the lights though, aren't you? So, road-wise, it's good. If you're riding around London, you've got to do all the ULZ stuff. I think there's only one place doing that at the moment, so you can't get information about it on the internet. Other than that, it's grand. Stop starts, doesn't fail. Everyone keeps reporting this second gear issue. Well, not everyone. Some people report the second gear issue, but I can only assume that's from the bikes where they've been abused, people can't change gear properly, or people are just wheeling all the time, or whatever. I don't know really what caused it, I've got to be honest. I'm just speculating. But, you know, it's just been good. It's been really good, really comfy. We can go over and above all the legal speed limits. So that's sort of curbing my need for an R1. It's because at the end of the day, you know, you can speed on anything, but it also hurts when you come to an abrupt stop. It's like any vehicle, I think. I mean, we've got a couple of different vehicles, not motorbikes, cars and that, and they all seem to suffer, regardless of what you've got, inherent common issues. Things to look out for on the Cat is you'll get fork seals going. I don't know whether that's the same on other bikes, but you get fork seals going. Obviously, if you're going to do it, do everything including the bushings and that. Don't just get new seals and think that'll solve it. Something's obviously worn. Front sprocket, usually when someone's changed the front sprocket and not banked the tabs over so it comes loose, now that can cause massive amounts of damage. As you can imagine, front sprocket comes on and pulls the chain into the sprocket cover where there's a few things going on, one of them being the clutch rod. What else? I think on some of the older ones, perhaps the ones that have been rode more in bad weather, you get issues with some of the electrical coil packs, things like that. But you know, they're easy enough fixed. And then the other ones, if they've been stored for a long time, so obviously they will run on E10. But if you're going to store it, someone else with a far clever head than me will explain this a lot better, but the E10 needs to be stabilised or something, it separates, or what something happens to it, something to do with the ethanol and all that kind of stuff. And if you're storing it for a long time, it's sitting in the carbs, you know, it'll just fill your carbs and your jets and block them up and everything, so you're going to have to strip them down and give them a good clean. But I am talking like you're storing it for quite a few months. I don't just mean you haven't ridden it for a week. My personal experience of E10 is I put some in when I was stuck, and I've got to admit it ran terrible. it just did not like it. Now I don't know whether it's not set up for it, I don't know whether that's such a thing, but it was really, really rough, really bad. So I just quickly washed a bit of Red X in it, filled it up with E5 or Super, whichever I can get my hands on, and ran the tank full through just to sort of chill it out a little bit. I don't know where I'm going, by the way. I'm just having a little blast out. I've been out all week, and of course with my back being a bit dicky, I didn't really want to go too far. So those are my personal experiences with E10. They're not favourable ones either. What else? I mean, the clutch kinda... I didn't notice anything wrong with the clutch, to be honest. What happened with me was, a few months after riding it, I noticed that I was getting a ringing noise, like a bell noise, when I was going around right-handers with the clutch out, and when I pulled the clutch in, it'd go. So just purely by chance, when I dropped the oil out and changed the oil, I took the clutch cover off and inspected the clutch, made sure everything was tight, took it apart. And with these, again, I'm not sure if it's the same with other bikes, the first clutch friction plate and the last seems to have twice as many pads on than the intermediate plates, if that makes sense. And on the first clutch plate, do I want to go this way? I'm trying to think which way to go. On the first clutch plate, there was no pads on the back where it had gone up against the the clutch basket case, so it was just nothing, which kind of surprises me really, because the chap who had it off said he was well looked after and had the oil dropped every 700 miles or something ridiculous, which I can't believe for 1 minute, but you know, people tell these stuff, you kind of take it at gospel, don't you? Especially when the bike's in good nick like this was. So that's it really. But I mean, overall, if you want to go fast, it'll go fast. If you want to go slow, it'll go slow. Mega comfy. Can't think of anything bad really. Everything's kind of reasonably priced. I think at the moment it's getting to the point where if you can pick up a non-runner really, really cheap that isn't too badly damaged or something like that, then you know you can have another bike full of spare parts for, I don't know, 300 or 400 quid, 500 quid most, and then you've got all the parts you'll ever need, and it's going to get to the point where the bike's going to get rarer, and it's easier to pick up another bike, or just as good to pick up another bike as it is to buy a load of spare parts. So that's on my agenda for next year. Sorry about that, I just got sick of hanging about. And that's what I mean, see, I mean you can, that's different. It's up to you. If you twist the wrist further back, it'll go faster. If you don't want to do that, it'll just go its normal speed, or whatever the speed you want to do. And it's good little bike. I'm sure it'd be brilliant for commuting. It's not exactly massively wide, so for filtering it's good. That's it really. The horn's a bit crap. You press the horn and it reminds me of the Volkswagen van. It's got this massive van with the little tiny horn on it, which is just not the best. But it is what it is, I guess. So that's it. That's my little review of the Thundercat. It goes nice. You can watch all the videos of me riding. I know they're pretty boring because I don't do daft stuff on them. I'm not exactly the world's most exciting riding, that's for sure. That's it. So I'll try and get some more out. I'll try and keep them shorter. So if you want to like and subscribe, leave a comment, go for it, and I'll read the comments and I'll get back to you. So take care, guys.